Yeah, like. Hi guys, this is Abhinav and welcome to MTAG TV once again. Tonight it's a big one for us today. So we are discussing about the Tokyo Olympics and the hopes for India in the for India's for the athletes of India to about how the Olympics will go. So we've got two very special guests with us. We've got one of our regulars in Sahil Sharma joining us once again and making his TV debut is noted quiz master and of repute Deepanjan Dev. So welcome guys, welcome to MTAG TV and this discussion. I'll come to you, Sahil, straight up. This is India's largest ever contingent for a Summer Olympic Games. I mean, 127 athletes are going have qualified for various disciplines. Going into the Olympics, how optimistic are you of the medal prospects for the country, and who are the ones who are very much the favorites for a gold medal shout in their disciplines?
Yeah, thanks, Abhinav, for having me here, and hi, Deepanjan. So, pretty excited about India's chances this time around. We are sending our largest contingent, and also the quality of athletes that we are sending this time around. If you talk about medal prospects, I think shooting, we are sending around 15 athletes. I think that's our biggest hope. If we have to overtake or better our London overhaul, I guess shooting is our best prospect. And in shooting, I would say the mixed team, Manu Bhaker and Saurabh Chaudhary have the best chance. I think from an overall squad perspective, all athletes, combining all sports, I think that's our best chance at a gold medal, I would say. Because both of them individually are very good shooters. And coming back to shooting again, I think second, I would say Saurabh Chaudhary has been doing really well. So Saurabh Chaudhary is again a very bright medal prospect in the 10-meter air pistol. In shooting, Manu Bhaker, again, she's participating in 3 events, 10-meter, 25-meter pistol, and the mixed team event. So a lot of people are pinning their hopes that she might spring a surprise in 25-meter as well. So that could be a big surprise when it comes to medals in shooting. Air rifle, I think the form of our air rifle team has not been that great leading up to the Olympics. Apurvi Chandela and Ella Vineville are women participants, and in men's we have Divyansh. So, and Divyansh and one more, I forgot his name. So right now, but most of all in shooting, I would say that the air pistol team is more likely to get us medals, and I think we can talk about more sports later in the show. So yeah, when it comes to shooting, I would say Saurabh Chaudhary, Manu Bhaker in the mixed, and Saurabh Chaudhary and Manu Bhaker in individual are best chances.
Deepanjan, I'll come to you now. It's a large contingent. I mean, 127 athletes going for an Olympics from a country is no small number. So, what do you think about India's medal hopes for the Olympic from Tokyo 2021 this time around?
Good evening, Abhinav, and good evening, Sahil. And pleasure to join you guys. I know Grace Note has predicted we'll get 17 medals, through their analytics, and I hope they're right. But the one thing that I would like to say, having followed the Indian Olympics or other Olympics for some time now, is the fact that before coming to a number, I don't know, we'll be happy to get more and more medals as a nation, as we develop or as we become more mature as a sporting nation. But one thing is very important for us to look at, and I'm coming to that point, is the fact that you look at each sport that we're sending representatives, right? Historically, what we've seen for Indians in the Olympics is the fact that suppose in a particular sport they have a particular ranking in their own domain. Now, if you lose to people above those rankings, it's fine, right? Because that's the reason they are placed above you in the rankings. But traditionally, the things that have happened for India is that they have lost to people, below the rankings, which comes down to the psychological aspect of the fact that are you performing your best, right? So if we bring that into the equation, because traditionally what has happened is that we suppose athletes are not being able to replicate their personal bests. Sahil talked about Manu Bhaker, Sahil talked about Saurabh Chaudhary. Saurabh Chaudhary was, I think, also featured by Time as the only Indian athlete to look out for in this Olympics. So there are people who are like Sahil mentioned, there are a lot of athletes who are now world class. The only thing that needs to be looked at is how much do they perform under pressure. And I think something might be a blessing in disguise with the COVID restrictions and there is no crowd there. I think the Indian athletes might just be able to perform more freely. Although we know, I think one of Japan's, famous Olympians today quoted that what is the Olympics without the crowd? But being an Indian, I just somehow feel that we might just, perform more freely. That might mean that we are performing to the best of our ability, right? I know after years, perhaps after PT Usha, we can still dream of something in athletics. I don't know whether Neeraj Chopra will be able to replicate his personal best of 88.07 at the Olympics. If he does, we definitely do have a chance. But Johannes, what is this guy's name? Johannes Peter, I think, landed a 90. Yeah, he did 96 meters this year. So, but of course, the Olympics brings out the best amongst athletes. So, if Neeraj Chopra performs to his best, definitely, it would be the best possible tribute to Milkha Singh this year, right? Now, coming back to your question, who do I think are serious contenders? Definitely Saurabh Chaudhary and Manu Bhaker. Vinesh Phogat, I hope she performs. 2016 was extremely unfortunate for her. Bajrang Punia, I've heard, has recovered from his injury. We should get a few more medals in shooting. I don't know from where they will come, but definitely we have a very strong contingent. But definitely we should expect a few medals in shooting. Mirabai Chanu is one of my favorites, and she had some challenges in the clean and jerk, in the previous, in her previous rounds, and I think she has actually converted her weakness into a strength. So I just hope she brings in a medal for for India, and she's definitely one of the better athletes that we're sending. And of course we have Mary Kom and PV Sindhu, right? And I have analyzed the draw that Sindhu has. I hope Sindhu's fitness level is back to where she was before before COVID and all, because she has a decent enough draw and she should be able to sail through the draw. Of course, she needs to beat Yamaguchi, which I think she should have an edge over Yamaguchi because of the way she covers the court. Her forecourt movement is very good. Her movement on the backside is very both ends of the backside is very, very good. And of course, she can grind out opponents, and she has a better aggressive game. So I will definitely give her the edge. Yes. The only fear I have is Tai Soo-young, because I think that Tai Soo-young is the most talented badminton player in this generation. I know Carolina Marin has achieved a lot of things at All England, at World Championship, at the Olympic level, but Tai Soo-young is a genius. So if we can rely on Tai Soo-young's, I would it not be apt to use the word looking for a player as great as her. But if somehow Sindhu can cross the Tai Soo-young barrier, I give her a great shot for a gold medal. I know it's a little optimistic, but I have followed badminton for a long time now, and I just hope that she crosses the Tai Soo-young barrier, because I think that was the barrier she crossed when she won the World Championship gold as well. So Sindhu definitely is I'm assuming that fitness in our game is back to where it was pre-COVID. Of course, Mary Kom is an emotional favorite, so we just hope she does something. The other person that I'm really looking forward to is Amit Pangal. The way he has been performing, and we just hope we get one medal. I don't know the color what it would be, but Amit Pangal definitely is a medal contender for me.
Definitely, I think Amit Pangal's form as well has been very very good, and he's matched up to the world to the standards of all the big competitors he has in his weight category. I mean, the Uzbekistan boxer he defeated in the Asian Games final, Dushmatov, and the others are the ones who's he has matched up and has beaten beforehand. So I think Amit Pangal could be one of the big gold medal hopes for India. There are a few very about the dark horses. Who do you think? I mean, there are quite a few athletes whom a lot of the people do not know about from India, but they've been putting in the hard yards in their disciplines and have emerged quite strongly over there. So among the dark horse picks for a possible medal shout, where do you see who are the ones you're looking at? I'll start with you, Deepanjan, for this.
Look, since Limbaram in the 1992 Olympics, we have somehow had expectations, but archery we have always somehow fell short of. I hope this time between Deepika and Atanu, we or the other members. I think Tarundeep Rai is also there. We get some medal in archery because we've been performing, very very well in the events, beside the Olympics. And of course, Korea is there. The Korean women's team has not lost a single team event in archery since the Olympics started that event, that whole discipline. So I hope and wish that we get something in archery. And Deepika is too good an athlete to not win and eventually break the jinx for us. So I would definitely give Deepika Kumari. I'm not putting her. I don't want to jinx her because I still I'm a fan of hers, but somehow we've all been disappointed about the fact that she couldn't perform in the Olympics. But this time I'm hoping that she does it. If you ask me, I don't know. I don't think we can have a dark horse in athletics, to be honest. Except our 4x400 relays team is very good. I know we also have Avinash Sable, who is a very established steeplechaser. But and of course we are sending 3 people in the 20-kilometer race walking. But expecting a medal, if we get there, there will be no one happier than us. But I don't think we can. I'll put a dark horse in athletics. Boxing, yes. There is, of course, apart from Mangal, I think there is and man Manicom. There is also a lady from my home state, Lavlina Borgohai. She's been doing tremendously well. There is, of course, Vikas Krishnan, who has been extremely consistent, and I think we have Satish Kumar in super heavyweight. So we might just have, but again, Cuba and the Baltic nations, expecting a medal is not that easy. But we never know; anything can happen. Especially with this year, we just hope that somewhere there is some bit of luck for us, and we can expect a few medals in boxing. I don't know from where they will come, but definitely yes. Equestrian, we have Fawad Mirza, but he has again. I know he will be contesting against people who have been professionals in their field. Plus, I think that he has had to change his horse. If I remember it correctly, he had to change his horse somewhere between. Of course, then we have Bhavani Devi, who became India's first fencer. We have Netra Kumaran in sailing. But again, everything apart, if you ask me what is the one medal that you want India to have, that is Indians in the hockey.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Without a doubt, our greatest Olympic legacy lies in hockey. And this time, our team has been playing well. To be honest, I have not, watched Indian hockey. The team after the 2018 Olympics. We cannot technically dissect the team. However, I followed them by reading the news, and I think they were in Argentina. They did pretty well, and they're in a group that includes New Zealand, Australia, Spain, and Argentina. So it's not an easy group, but if we manage to reach the quarterfinal, anything can happen from there. But if you ask me, that is my dark horse that I'll pick, because the Indian men's hockey team and also the women's hockey team, but the Indian men's hockey team is something that every Indian would want to see on the medals podium.
Absolutely. Well said, Deepanjan, because I think the men's hockey team does have a very, very tough group with them. I mean, with the likes of the defending champions Argentina, Australia, the perennial favorites are Australia, and the dangerous duo of New Zealand and Spain being there. So I mean, their road is quite tough. So Sahil, I'll come to you. In the hockey, do you think that the Indians, both the men and the women team, will have a chance to make a medal breakthrough? And are there any other dark horse picks you see amongst the others in the Indian contingent?
Yeah. So I think let's start. I think let me put it this way, that the parameter of success for women's and men's team would be very different. I would say if women's team gets out of their group, that would be a successful Olympics for me. But for men's hockey team, I would say that getting out from the group is not that difficult. I don't think that we should be in the quarterfinals easily. So let's start with the women's team. I think women's team has, if you look at their 2018 World Cup performance, right? They drew with Great Britain, they drew with USA, and then they qualified for the crossover where they beat Italy and then played Ireland. Okay. And Ireland reached the finals of the World Cup. And Ireland had a very strange tournament where they had 2 penalty shootouts wins in the quarters and semis, and then they lost out. They were hammered by the Netherlands. And Netherlands, let me say that they are kind of the bestest team in women's hockey right now. They have 7-8 gold medals. And the gulf between Netherlands and other hockey teams is there is a huge gulf between those teams. So India play, I think, first Netherlands. Their first game is against Netherlands. So if somehow they can eke out a draw, I mean, that would be a miracle. But apart from that, if you look at India's group, right, they have Great Britain, and I think they have Ireland, South Africa. South Africa, I think it again boils down to these games: South Africa, Ireland, and Great Britain. What India can get out of these games in women's hockey, right, in that group. So if they can manage some decent results, and the reason I'm saying this is because all these teams can beat each other. So you can never say that Ireland will definitely beat Great Britain or Great Britain will definitely beat Ireland. So that way, if somehow things work out for India, India might get into the quarters in women's hockey. Okay. Now coming back to men's hockey, I think we should finish second in our group after Australia. I know Argentina is defending Olympic champion. We have New Zealand. We lost to New Zealand in Commonwealth Games in semifinals. Then we have Japan. We lost to Malaysia in the Asian Games penalty shootout, and Japan eventually won the gold. So Indian hockey is always, again, you can never predict. They might, if you look at their pro hockey league games, right? They have had a decent record. They have a very good record against Netherlands. They have played very good hockey against Australia as well. Okay, so based on the experience, I think in 3 years we have progressed really well in hockey. I think Graham Reed has done a good job. Even the team wise, if you speak the squad strength, I think our defense and midfield is really, really strong. I think there were a couple of surprise misses in SV Sunil and Akashdeep in the forward line. But overall, I think India has a very good squad in hockey. So the tricky part comes in quarterfinals, because the other group has Belgium. It's like their golden generation, like in football. You can say in hockey also they have a golden generation right now. Then you have Netherlands, and then you have Germany. So if India finish second, it's very likely that India will play either of these 3 teams. Okay. And last time India lost out to Belgium. And India did play decent enough hockey in that quarterfinal against Belgium in 2016. So I mean, always I will be an eternal optimist for hockey. I mean, as Deepanjan said, I mean, a gold in hockey is worth like 5 or 6 other medals in any other sport. So I'm quite optimistic about our chances in hockey. If we can like get ahead out of the quarterfinals, it's anybody's game in hockey. Now coming back to dark horses, there are a couple of wrestlers. I mean, which I haven't read about and people are not talking about them, but they are doing really well. One is Bajrang's brother, Deepak Punia in 86 kg,
Mm,
and the other is
mm,
Ravi Dahiya. So Ravi
yeah.
Dahiya, I think his major competitor is the wrestler from Russia, and I think he can easily make it to the finals if he keeps up. I mean, if anybody else doesn't spring a surprise, I mean, he has a very good chance of reaching finals. And even Deepak also is ranked number one for some time in his weight category, and he also had a silver or bronze in the world championship. So these are, I think, who people don't generally regard as. I mean, we don't know. Common people don't know about these names, but I think they might squeeze out a medal for us in wrestling. Apart
I
from
agree as
Bajrang
well.
and Vinesh. Yeah.
I agree with Sahil.
Yeah, these two are
I
there.
think, yeah.
Yeah, and shooting, I would say. I mean, I was on a discussion with Joydeep sir in one of the podcasts, and I said that Elevini Wheel, I think, is a dark horse, and then he said that no, she's our brightest prospect. Okay, you cannot call her a dark horse, but the point where I was coming from is that her recent performances have not been that great. Elevini Wheel, she's I mean, everybody speaks that she's a very talented shooter, a very technically sound shooter, but somehow her recent performances are not that great, and people are not expecting a lot like they're expecting from Saurabh and Manu, right? So I consider her a dark horse that she might really get a medal in air 10-meter air rifle. And the other mixed team of Abhishek Verma and Yashaswini Deswal, I think they are a real dark horse because in the recent World Cup also they finished fourth. And individually, Abhishek and Yashaswini have been ranked better than Manu and Saurabh. I know rankings don't mean much in shooting because they can go haywire after just one World Cup, right? Or one event.
Yeah.
But still, Abhishek and Yashaswini also are a very good prospect in the 10-meter air pistol mixed team. So I would say these are dark horses. Avinash, uh, I think his best is around 821 in the steeplechase. And I feel that if he can trim off, like you cannot trim off a lot of seconds, right, in the Olympics, but even 4 or 5 seconds, if he can just come up with 816 or 815, also would be a as Deepanjan was saying that a lot of our athletes don't perform their best in the Olympics, right? So from Avinash, I would expect that if he can trim off that 5 6 seconds in the Olympics, I would say that would also count as a success for me in the steeplechase. I think Abhinav dropped off.
No,
Sure.
I think some network
Okay.
issue.
And I'll also talk about Neeraj. I think Neeraj, we are a lot of hopes have been pinned on Neeraj because two of his competitors, Magnus Kurt and Thomas Roller, have dropped out,
Yeah.
right, or due to injury. But if you see, I was reading that out of all the competitors, I think 10 or 11 competitors have a personal best better than Neeraj. So that way, I mean, if everybody else performs to his best, I mean, I don't think Neeraj will get into the will finish in the podium. But
Although
Neeraj has been
he has the fourth best, I think,
this season
this
best,
season. Yeah, this season he has the
this season.
fourth best throw of the
But
year.
overall, what we have seen is he's very consistent. So he will regularly hit that 85 mark. Maybe he will not get. He has still not touched 90, but he will consistently touch 85. So that's kind of I mean, a good thing that he's consistent. So definitely he'll make the final. I think he's sure. I'm quite sure that he'll make the final. But then, I mean, as we know, right? You were saying that Vetter's 3/96. So he would have to like up his game in the final to have any chance of the medal in the javelin.
Absolutely. I think we've lost.
Abhinav.
Abhinav, but just
Yeah.
let's wait for.
Yeah. And Mirabai, Deepanjan, you were saying, I think she has a world record in clean and jerk now, right?
Yeah, she
And
does. She does.
snatch.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Snatch, of course, but clean and jerk was an issue with her, but I think she
Yeah.
has rectified it
Yeah.
significantly. And
And now I think North Korea dropped out, so I think she is definitely, I think, getting a medal.
yeah, people are saying all of those things, but the whole point here is that, uh, which is what I keep on saying, what Djokovic said at after his semi-final, after his quarter-final, that giving up is not an option, right? That's how you get that mindset. I think if we have that mindset, definitely we can expect why 17, maybe 20 medals.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, uh, can we perform to the at least uh, to the point where our rankings are at this point of time in every sport, right? Uh, so that, of course,
I
performing.
think that, yeah, that 17 is like, uh, I don't think you can get 17 medals. I mean, I don't know, Grace Note, I think they do a lot of analytics behind these medals, but those 17 medals, I think they are expecting that maybe it's based on the shooting rankings. You see,
No, no, there is
Anju,
also the intangible factor that comes into the picture, right? So imagine the fact that you are taking part in a quiz at your home and you're just trying to answer. The same thing you just try to replicate in a real life situation. Your efficiency will go down by a certain percentage. And here you imagine this is the biggest, like, why it is the Olympics are very different from, say, uh, 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 a tennis Grand Slam or a badminton World Championship, because those are annual events. Here, this is your lifetime output, 4 years, and this time again 1 year has gone, right? One miss and your whole career is gone. So imagine the pressure that those people have to replicate, to keep, which is why the psychological aspect of those athletes become very critical, and that is why we feel that somewhere we have not been able to perform the way we should have, right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I, to be honest, don't think that we will get 17 medals. However, I'll be the happiest person to be proven wrong.
So for India's best haul in the Olympics has been in terms of overall medals was London. I think it was a golden. It was the period that everyone said that Indian sports had broken through completely. I mean, with the fact that we had two silver medalists and three two silver medalists, four athletes getting bronze medals. So, do you think that there is a chance that India can better that tally in this time in Tokyo, considering that there are more than a few quality medal hopefuls in various disciplines? We've got somebody like a Neeraj Chopra in the javelin throw for the men's. There's Bajrang, Punia, Mary Kom. A lot of these athletes are there. So, do you think there is a chance that India might be able to overhaul their London tally? Sahil.
Uh, okay. Uh, I think yes. I mean, we should do better than London. I mean, definitely. I'm not saying we'll get 17, but a double digit overall, I'm definitely expecting this time around. See, also, previously, I have said this before also, shooting is a very unpredictable sport, and India has largely a very big contingent in shooting. But if you see, our athletes have not done well in shooting, especially in the
True.
Olympics. Okay, whatever is expected, even though we have done now after Bindra, then we had Gagan Narang and Jitu Kumar. Uh, okay, but still we haven't done because it's a very unpredictable sport. Even archery, for that matter, right? Deepika, even though she has been world number one, she has been one of the consistent archers, but she hasn't won a medal in Olympics. So in that respect, I think I would like to credit the shooting fraternity in India. I think they have kind of covered a little bit of that unpredictability by having world class athletes. So earlier, what used to happen, we just have Anjali Ved Patak in the air rifle. Now we have like Apurvi Chandela, Anjum Modgil, and Ella Winneville. Okay, so Anjum Modgil, you can only send two athletes. So Anjum Modgil was given the other 50-meter rifle. So when you have such a bench strength, I mean, and we can take example from cricket also, like the Indian team that's doing well. So a lot of background work that has happened in the shooting federation. I think that has really helped India. So if India has to get that double digit overall, you have to get a lot of medals from shooting. There's no doubt. I mean, Saurabh Chaudhary, Manu Bhaker, Alavinivil, Abhishek Verma, Apurvi Chandela, all these people have to. I mean, that's our best chance of getting a double digit, because if you see other sports, boxing, realistically, if you speak, I think Amit Pangal and Vikas Krishnan, I know Mary Kom, I think you can call her a dark horse because she has a lot of experience. But I'm not really sure. I've not followed her for the last 2 years, like how good her form is. But boxing, you can say 2 medals at best if Amit and Vikas both get us. In wrestling, 3. I would say a genuine chance of 3, because Vinesh, Bajrang, and Ravi and Deepak, out of them, I'm saying just 1, because there will always be upset also. So I'm counting in that factor. So that way you say at best 3, right? Now what else? Hockey, you get 1 medal, right? Then where else do you see? Archery, Deepika Kumari can get 1 medal. I think at best we can get 1. Or if they have a very good day in the mixed team, Atanu and Deepika. So I think shooting is our large chunk, where if we get 4 or 5 medals, then we are definitely getting a double digit. That's my take. But definitely more than 6. I mean, if it's less than 6, I think it's a hugely disappointing Olympics for India.
You're quite right, Sahil. Deepanjan, I'll come to you. What do you think? I mean, does India have a good chance of bettering their tally of London, or will they maybe fall a meter or 2 short?
Look, I tend to agree what Sahil has said in terms of of his rationale. So if you ask me honestly, I think definitely we should, and we should definitely add the yellow color medal, which we did not have in London. So definitely should be more than 6 medals, assuming we do, if not the best of our rankings and ability, but at least somewhere near the best. Now, I think Sahil has definitely said the right thing around how we can get those medals. So if you look at it sport by sport, weightlifting, maximum possibly 1 medal we'll get if Mirabai Chanu gets it. Wrestling, we can get 2-3 medals. I think best case scenario is 2 or 3, as Sahil said. Athletics, best case scenario is 1, according to me, including everything.
Yes.
Badminton, best case scenario is 1. I don't think we are in a position. Sanya Mirza has come, although she's a great of the game, but she's come after a long time, and the tennis scene is actually very competitive. Although many people are not going there, but tennis, I'm not at this point of time counting as one of our medal prospects. TT, I know Manika Batra is doing tremendously well, but China's grip on TT is tremendous. Plus, Japan has a very, very, very strong table tennis team, and some of the European players are also playing well in the men's circuit. So I don't think we should expect, if anything comes, we'll celebrate. As Sahil said, our main chunk of medals can come from shooting and wrestling, of course. Where from shooting, we have some of the, as Sahil said, our bench strength is very good. We have a lot of people who can. I'm also expecting some medals, possibly in the mixed team events in both shooting and archery. Hockey, of course, best case scenario is 1. I don't think we should be, between the men's and women's team, I'm expecting 1 medal as the best case scenario. Sailing, golf, gymnastics. I know Pranati is there first time, but any medal we get is beyond the expectation. But I'm just trying to list out the things that we feel we do have a very good chance of getting medals. We don't know the color of it. Badminton, definitely 1 medal. Equestrian, I don't think so. Fencing also, I don't think so. Archery, possibly 1, as I said. So there is a practical possibility that we can cross double digits with a few gold medals. And I think that we should better London. And that will definitely give a boost to us going into the 2024 and the 2028 Olympics, because I think India as a nation is improving in sport overall, and that should of course reflect in the number of medals we get in the Olympics.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've got a pointer here from Hardik Batra, who said that in the men's javelin throw, Johannes Vetter is probably the overwhelming favorite for the gold. And he said that Neeraj Chopra, Martin Krukowski, and Kishon Walcott are basically fighting for the other two medals over here. And I think that is a point, because there's hardly been a javelin thrower in the current scenario who's been able to match up to the levels that Vetter has set. And so I think I think it's a tough road ahead for Neeraj Chopra, but I think he has more than a decent shout of possibly landing in a medal. I mean, which is in his event, because he has been pretty consistent even after his recovery from injury. He's been pretty consistent in the in the javelin throw, and he has kind of started to get back into the groove with some of his throws going up, hitting the close to the 90-meter mark. So I think he's got a good chance of landing in the medal. And like you guys have said, I mean, there are quite a few hopefuls that India have, that they can look to getting a decent amount of medals that can overhaul that tally from London. So I think it's been a good discussion. I mean, I think Deepanjan and Sahil just given us such amazing pointers about this, about what India should be hoping for London. I think Sahil, you wanted to. I think you had a point, so please.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask both of you, like, when it comes to medals, we have spoken about medals, but do you really think we can get 2 or 3 gold medals? I mean, because realistically, if you ask me, right, our gold medal chances, like Vinesh Fogart, right? I mean, after seeing her draw, I think there's only one wrestler, that Mayu Mukaida, who she has never beaten, and she'll meet her in the final because Vinesh is seeded first and she's second. So that way, I mean, that's like she'll go to the final, and now, like, whether she can win the medal or not, gold or not. Then second, I would say Bajrang. Again, Rashidov. Bajrang is seeded second. Rashidov is first. So if everything goes fine, Bajrang will meet him in final. That may be a gold medal chance. Sindhu, as Deepanjan was saying, I mean, quarters she will meet Yamaguchi, and semis, I think it's Taizu. So Taizu, again, she has a 13-5 record against Taizu. So I'm not really sure if she can be considered a gold medal prospect. Amit Pangal also. I mean, there is the Zoirov, who is the Uzbek wrestler.
Yes.
He lost a very close final to him in, I think, 2019. But again, I'm not saying he's a definitely. I mean, there is nobody I can think of who can definitely win a gold apart from shooting, right? And shooting, as I said, it's very unpredictable. If once you have to qualify for the finals, once you qualify for the final, then it's anybody's game. So, I mean, what do you guys think that from a gold medal perspective, can we get 2, 3, or it can be or the color of the medal will be only silver and bronze?
Deepanjan, you can take this first.
Look, the point is, again, as you said, right? So Amit Pangal is Bajrang Punia is ranked number 1, right? And he has never beaten somebody who. So the point is, again, how do you play on that game? I know somebody was mentioning about Johannes Vetter is unbeatable in javelin, right? Alexander Karelin was unbeatable. He never lost a bout in 13 years, but Roland Gardner beat him, right? So I think the first thing is that no one is unbeatable. I believe that as a sports person, if you feel that you can't win, there's no point in going and competing and fighting, first of all. So I don't think anyone is unbeatable. Of course, there are certain things that if somebody is better than somebody, it's a different discussion. But if you're ranked above somebody, it means that you can. There is a reason you are ranked above somebody, right? I know Sindhu has a losing record against Tai Su Ying, but she has beaten her, and she can beat her. Technically, she can beat her, right? But whether she will beat her is a different discussion altogether, right? So, if you can get a medal, it can be we might just end up with 5, 6 gold medals. We don't know, right? That's the most optimistic thing. But I just want to, being an Indian, I just want to keep my fingers crossed and don't want to jinx the team and the things that we're following. But it is possible. It is definitely possible. It is shooting. We can get a couple of gold medals, maybe even more. Weightlifting, I do definitely, if Mirabai performs to her best, why not, right? Then of course there is boxing, there is wrestling, and there is of course badminton. So badminton, Sindhu has the ability to win gold. Whether she will win or not is a different thing. She definitely has the ability, the credentials, the technicality, even the fitness. Perhaps I'm hoping, with all those things to win gold. She also has the mind, more importantly, because Sindhu plays well when it matters.
Yes.
Right? Weak mindset will not lead to great things. Strong mindset will, which is why Olympics tests out the best. So I think if India can maintain a strong mindset, I think now a lot of psychologists and those things are now employed with sports persons, right? So definitely they would have done those mental training. So only as an Indian, I can just hope that they perform with a strong mind and just don't give up. So then we definitely can expect medals of the yellow color more and more. But I don't know what that will be, and I don't want to jinx it.
I think well said. I mean, for me personally, I think Bajrang Punia has a good shout. I think you guys have accurately described why that his draw does look quite promising. I think Mary Kom is a personal favorite, and I will always. I think if it's the last bow for her in the Olympics, I'm hoping that she makes it out of Tokyo with the gold. Then I think I'm looking at Saurabh Chaudhary for a gold in shooting. I think because he's been in phenomenal form. I think he's ranked. I think right up there. I think he's probably ranked number one in the pistol in the air pistol rankings. And I think so. I think these three, and I think with the fact that there is PV Sindhu, I think who. Like you guys said, just delivers in the when it matters. She just has that knack of delivering under pressure, and with the fact that there is also somebody like I'm also hoping Manu Bhaker makes it does come with a gold, but I mean her draw is a little tougher in the shooting in her shooting discipline, but I think there's a chance. But and I'm hoping that Neeraj Chopra puts in a performance that, I mean, it doesn't matter what the color of the medal would be. I do want to see him on the medal podium, because he's, I think, been one of genuinely one of the best athletes, field athletes who's emerged in the recent times, who looks a prospect for an Olympic medal, who looks like a guaranteed prospect for an Olympic medal. We've got Piyush Zavare, who's chipped in with a comment. He said that I should not say this, but people in India are over expecting from our contingent. I mean, obviously, being an Indian, he wants the team to do well. He feels 7 to 8 medals would actually mean that they've improved. I think this is something you guys have also mentioned quite extensively, and he said that it's all about how athletes handle the pressure over there.
Yeah. So I was also just about to add that Saurabh Chaudhary also. So I mean, if you see his last two World Cup performance, right? So there's this guy from Iran, Javed Forohi, who has won the gold in Delhi and in Croatia. So again, that way, I mean, Saurabh has always finished in the podium in all the events that he has participated in, world events. But now there is this guy, Javed Forohi, who is shooting so well. I mean, in a sport like shooting, to like get 2 gold medals consecutively, I mean, it's a very big achievement, I would say. Okay. So that way also, I mean, I would also like to say that maybe in London or in Rio, right? We were expecting India to win medals, but now we are a little more, we want a little more, and we are talking about the color of the medal as well, right? Earlier, we would be just happy with any color, right? But now people like Vinesh, Bajrang, Saurabh, Manu, I mean, we are definitely hoping that they can get a gold. So that's a good, I mean, that I would call it a very good progress for India. Yeah, but it remains to be seen whether we can convert more goals this time around or not.
True. Absolutely. I think it's yeah. With this, I think positive thought. I think hopefully India does manage to do well at the Olympics, and the athletes do manage to make the country proud from Japan. So I think it's been a fascinating discussion. Thank you to everybody who joined in. Thanks Deepanjan, thanks Sahil for joining in. I think have had such a enlightening discussion. I think it's helped me learn a lot as well. I mean, about what India's chances can be for the Olympics. So thank you guys. What a fabulous discussion we've had. Follow MTAG TV on YouTube and all our socials. The links are in the description box below. Follow Sahil and follow Deepanjan on their respective socials as well. They do some amazing content. They put out some amazing tweets and all, and and in quizzing, I think they rank up right up there when it comes to sports quizzing. I think in India, I think you've got to see these two guys hammer it out in a quiz over there. So watch out for them as well, and keep following MTAG TV on all our socials, and the links are in the description below. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and share their opinions. I think we hopefully we will be back with another podcast very soon. So stay happy, stay healthy, and keep following Impact. Thank you, guys.
Thanks a ton.
Thank you.
Thanks a ton.